Let's talk bubbles. Carbonation is most likely the single biggest concern new and even experienced kombucha brewers have. Some people have trouble getting any carbonation on their brew, and that too is a common problem, but it's not what I want to talk about today. There's a lot of information flying around on how to get fizz, and don't get me wrong, a lot of it is great advice. But there's one subject that is criminally underrated and is a huge contributor to whether your kombucha gets beautiful and sparkly or ends up like this.
Okay.
This kind of liquid behavior is often thought of as great carbonation, even glamorized in the community. Some people seem to think this is just something that happens with some batches and doesn't with others, as if by chance. Other people say it's because of overcarbonation and the second fermentation gone on for too long. You can clearly see there's a huge amount of carbonation going on. Good, right? Well, no. All that carbonation is wasted, and if that's not sacrilege, I don't know what is. All of the carbon dioxide you see in the videos is leaving the kombucha. It's gone with the wind, just like your hopes and dreams of becoming a great kombucha brewer and taking half the product with it. The kombucha will almost certainly be flat. So, what can we do about this? What's the secret factor? In order for us to get to the solution, let's find out why these kinds of kombucha geysers happen. Disclaimer, it's gonna get sciencey, but I'll try my absolute best to keep it easy to understand. I'll leave some light reading in the description for the ones that want to explore the rabbit hole a bit further. Skip this part if you only care about results and don't want to understand why. You can find timestamps in the description. Lactofermentation produces, among other things, carbon dioxide. This is why kombucha naturally gets carbonated. Second fermentation usually happens within sealed bottles, thus neither gases nor air can escape the system. The liquid and the gases in the bottle seek a state called equilibrium, which basically just means that the gas pressure in and out of the liquid is equal. In fermentation, equilibrium is impossible to achieve since more CO2 is forming in the liquid as long as the process goes on. This is why kombucha bottles might explode if left unchecked for too long, but a Coca-Cola bottle won't. What you need to understand about this is that the more gas there is outside of the liquid, the more gas there has to be inside the liquid. By the way, the reason we chill kombucha before opening after the second fermentation is because of this balance of pressures. Warmer temperatures make gases expand and the pressure inside the liquid isn't able to hold these big boy bubbles from coming up and leaving when the bottle is opened. Think of it like being a small high school boy with a bunch of bullies on top of you. There's no way you're getting out unless you suddenly grow triple in size and throw the suddenly very small chads aside with a flick of a wrist. There's a lot more to this and this is a simplified version, but for the sake of brevity I'm not gonna go deeper. Now, the CO2 really does want to leave the liquid at all times. It's no place for a gas. It wants to form a little bubble and just fly away free, but in order to do this it needs some help. Disturbances in the liquid pressure help even the lazier bubbles get out. Shaking a bottle introduces bigger air bubbles to the liquid and our tiny CO2 molecules finally get something to latch onto. They transform back into a gas and when you open the bottle are released. Shaking isn't the only way to disturb the tension. Adding lots of surface area into the liquid releases carbonation rapidly for the same reasons. The bubbles have something to form onto. These sites that encourage nucleation are called nucleation sites. Very nice. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you've probably seen what happens when you drop a bunch of Mentos into a Coke bottle. You're adding these porous little tablets with lots of surface area into the liquid. Nucleation sites. And after all that rambling, now you're probably starting to see where I'm going with this explanation with regards to kombucha geysers. It's the same exact thing. Introduce big surface areas or particles like fruits, powders or purees into your kombucha for the second fermentation, you're gonna get nucleation. Put your finger in the water in your glass, ya finna get nucleation. So, how to properly flavor kombucha without creating a lot of nucleation sites? I'm glad you asked. There's a really nice post on carbonation in the r/kombucha wiki. I'll leave the link in the description. Seriously, go read it. I see way too many people wondering about this stuff on there and the solution is literally 3 clicks away. The subreddit is also a great place for you to post more content for me to get mad about. Or very happy. Depends on whether you've seen this video, really. And welcome back, skippers. Here's the TLDR. Understanding nucleation sites, it's actually very simple to deduce that using flavored juices and tinctures is the only way to go for the second fermentation. This video is not about how to juice your fruits, but here's a really quick overview. Put your fruits, spices or purees in a nut milk bag or something similar with very small holes. Around 80 to 200 microns. Mash or boil with water for safety. Let cool until room temperature and boom! Ready for second fermentation. There are some extra steps in the Ready wiki post, so just go check it out, okay? You can also use store-bought juices, but I suggest against most since they tend to have ingredients that mess with carbonation and or fermentation. Anyways, that's all I have to say today. Go make some beautiful kombucha. The world needs it.
Very nice.